Now welcome to episode number 1 of the Ironman Battle Royale series. It's pretty simple. You start off with a team full of common players, from your starting rotation to your bullpen to your lineup to your bench, and the only way you can replace these common cards is with Battle Royale in terms of your 3-game, 6-game, 9-game, 12-game, and 12-0 reward. Now there's a catch. As soon as you obtain a Battle Royale reward, you must lock it into your team immediately, unless it's a duplicate, of course, and they must replace one of the common cards immediately. Now, once you obtain, let's say, a diamond, then, of course, the silver cards, the gold cards, they most likely aren't replacing those diamonds unless those gold and silver cards are complete goons, of course. Now, how you beat this is simple. You go ahead and fill out the team once you don't have any more common players, which means you should have at least a silver player in every single roster spot. You go ahead and take it into ranked seasons. Once you obtain World Series, you have beaten Edition 1. Edition 2 is a little bit harder. You restart, team full of common players again, and here you can only replace the common cards with diamond cards. So you have to at least win 9 every single time in order to replace any of the common cards. We're going to be doing Edition 1. Once we beat it, we will be doing Edition 2. Now, if you're new here, don't worry. There's going to be a playlist for this. Also, hit that like button. We're aiming for 20 likes if you want to see more MLB The Show 20 content. Hit that red subscribe button and join the loyalty family. Turn on that notification. And then, last but not least, follow me on all social medias at Bhlademyst. If you want to interact with me on more of a personal level, also click on the channel community tab and interact with me there as well. We got to get a draft. Let's go ahead and do it. Now for the draft, we have a pretty interesting first round. I think it is a no-brainer that you always go with Gary Sheffield here. We're going to take a second baseman since I want to leave center field open to a much better player than a common player. Jason Castro is an absolute goon. I am 100% fine with him being our catcher. Joe Adele, pretty good numbers, pretty good defense. Center field is a position you need really good defense in. Let's go ahead and check what Adam Wainwright throws. He throws pretty slow, but sometimes that is the best recipe against an opponent that plays on legend difficulties non-stop. I like John Franco here a lot. He throws relatively slow as well. So hopefully we're able to control him, because if you can start dotting with him, you're going to be in good hands. We can use Kyle Schwarber at left field without a problem. Here we have Tim available, horrible fielding. We have Silvino Bracco. I think we're going to go with Bracco here. Let's see what Jalen throws. No sinker. I like almost every single pitcher I use to throw a sinker, or at least to have good off-speed movement. This is more of a difficult decision because I like Petit and I like Jorge Polanco a lot. So the common fielding from Jorge Polanco is the only thing that makes me not want to get him. But to be honest, the only better hitting shortstop in the silver round is probably Adalberto Mondesi, if we're being realistic. So we're going to take Jorge Polanco and call it a day. Brandon Workman, not really too big of a fan on him. We're going to take Marcus Stroman just because he has that sinker. I want to leave first base open for a pretty good hitter, of course. And then third base, we're most likely going to put Gary Sheffield there. We're going to take Baylor here. I want to have some pretty good arms in the starting rotation, but most importantly in the bullpen, because I normally utilize the bullpen a lot more. So we can go with Jose Leclerc. He's a little bit difficult to control, or Edwin Encarnacion. I think it's obvious Edwin Encarnacion is definitely the pick here. I like Giovanni Gallegos. I feel like I could control him well. We have Cliff Lee available for us. Doesn't really throw too hard. And then third base, we already know Gary Sheffield is most likely playing third base. So what we're going to be looking to do is exactly what we just did. We're going to be looking to get the last common round for third base and then use everything else to fill out the team according to how we want it. So looking at what we have for starting lineup, we already have a catcher, so no need to get anything there. And if worse comes to worse, we could put Kyle Schwarber there if we find ourselves Jock Peterson for left field. So all we need to do is look for a right fielder and a second baseman. We know that now. We have Jaime Barria. Not really a big fan of his. So we're going to go with Miguel Cabrera just to have a good righty hitter that can come off the bench and destroy lefties. We can put Daniel Murphy at second base. That's most likely what I'm going with here. Add a third lefty to the lineup. And then you get yourself Jorge Soler. You just can't pass up on Jorge Soler. That allows us to move Gary Sheffield to third base. And now we're feeling comfortable here. Let's see what we have available when it comes to pinch hitting. I think Howie Kendrick is probably one of the best bats that you can pinch hit with. So we'll pick him up there. Harmon Killebrew. Now this makes it a little bit harder because Harmon Killebrew can 100% play third base for us. He can also play left field, but he drops down to common. We also have Nick Anderson. I think I might have to sacrifice the gold bat just because we already have the lineup pretty much set, pretty much stacked out, and none of these picks in terms of the gold rounds actually help us out here. So we're going to go with Zack Greinke. Once again, he throws pretty slow, so that might be your opponent's worst enemy sometimes. Rhys Hoskins, would love to put him on the squad, but we're most likely going to have to use the final silver round on a starting pitcher and then hope we can get a bullpen full of goons because that's what we need the most. Pat Neshek, we're going to go ahead and pick him up. Chris Davis, you just don't pass up on some great power hitters off the bench. Jose Alvarado, I'm pretty sure he has outlier. So we're going to go ahead, pick him up. Two-seamer with outlier. Yes, he's a little bit difficult to control. The bullpen is not looking the best, but it definitely is worthy of getting us 12 wins. So now what we have to do is we got to set up the lineup. Got to put Jorge Soler in right field, and then Gary Sheffield, of course, at third base. So leading it off for us, 100% I'm going to want Kyle Schwarber. Backing him up, Gary Sheffield, and then backing up Gary Sheffield, I think I'm going to go with Joe Adell. Then hitting cleanup, I'm going to most likely put a switch. After the switch, most likely put a lefty. I trust Jason Castro more than I trust Daniel Murphy, to be completely honest with you all. And then whoever has better power versus left is going to back up Jason Castro. That's Edwin Encarnacion. So our lineup is so stacked right now that we have Jorge Soler hitting 8th, which is completely fine with me because I'm not that great of a hitter with Jorge Soler, unlike most people, of course. And then our bullpen, let's look at it. Let's take a quick look. Not too bad. No commons, so that's a good thing. And then we have a couple of reliable bronzes and then 3 pretty good pitchers here. So our starting rotation, not a bad starting rotation either. We just need Zack Greinke not to get rocked and we should be good. Let's hop into some games. Now, one thing that I was doing before I just decided to take a break and then come back is if I lost a game, I wouldn't even upload it to YouTube. If I lost 2 games, I wouldn't even upload it to YouTube because I tried to hold myself to such a high standard in terms of Battle Royale. I tried to make it seem like I was a complete goon that goes 12-0 all the time, and that's just not the case. It's not the case for anyone. Battle Royale is probably one of the most frustrating game modes and one of the game modes that you have to be extremely lucky to go 12-0 with because all it takes is a couple of very early swings to start a rally, and then everybody knows where that hanger is going to go. It's going to be a grand slam, and then you're down 8 and there's nothing you can do about it. So what I decided to do is, regardless of how far the run gets, I'm going to show that I'm human, and I'm going to show that I'm just like you all, that sometimes I get myself 12-0 runs, and sometimes I can barely get myself a victory. And that's just life. That's what happens with MLB The Show. I'm going to be a content creator instead of trying to be the most competitive player in the world, because at the end of the day, I'm not Pitching Rebel. So I'm just going to have fun, and that's going to allow me to basically be fresh all the time and make a lot more content for you all. That's going to be absolutely destroyed by Joe Adell. Welcome to the kingdom. That's going to be our saying whenever we hit a home run. If I ever don't say it, then leave it down in the comment section and I will heart your comment, of course. That's going to be crushed by Jorge Polanco. That's also one of our sayings. We say it all the time. Whenever we feel like a pitch is going to be crushed, we say that's going to be crushed. And that's because it means that I read it off of the pitcher's hand completely. That's a great fastball. I mean, it wasn't a great fastball not to crush. It was just a great fastball that I wasn't expecting. We're going to go with the curveball here. He's going to get a base hit out of it. I don't think Kyle Schwarber can actually make that grab. And he gets a base hit, which is interesting because his swing timing was just good on a fastball, and it turned out to be pretty good as well on an off-speed pitch. So maybe he's starting to read Zack Greinke. Gary Sheffield makes an error at third base. Makes sense. It's not his primary position. But this is what I talk about when I say Battle Royale. You just need to get a little bit lucky. That slider was hung just a bit. It could have been easily a 3-run home run, and then we would have been in the deficit. We'll take that walk. Worked it up to a full count. Gave Daniel Murphy an opportunity to maybe drive a run in here. And then we get ourselves a changeup early week. We need to work on placing the PCI on the ball. Right now we're a little rusty, which makes sense. That's going to be a slider just early. If I would have moved the PCI just a tad more to the right, that could have been easily a 3-run home run. We're going to bring in Chris Davis since he has the best power against both sides here. That's going to be an inside fastball that we get squared up on. Hit a 3-run home run. Get ourselves a nice little comfortable 4-run lead. I need to warm up the bullpen because I'm pretty sure I forgot to. Or maybe I didn't actually. Maybe he's going to quit out regardless, so we don't even need to warm up the bullpen. And that seems to be the case. We're 1-0. Let's continue playing. So I could have thrown out Zack Greinke once again, since he only did give us 1 inning of work, of course. But I decided I'm going to go with Marcus Stroman just so Zack Greinke, he's rested enough to pitch game 3 if we need him to. That's going to allow Zach Gallen to pitch game 4. And then Marcus Stroman is going to be rested enough, hopefully, to pitch game 5 if necessary. Alright, positive record. New York Angie Peppers. Let's go ahead and have a ball game here. Jacob deGrom on the mound as well, so he went with a diamond starting pitcher. That's a fastball, hit the other way. That's what happens when you have the auto shift. It allows base hits like that to turn into doubles pretty easily, even though that probably would have been a line out, to be honest. That's gonna be right back up the middle. Hit pretty well, good. Could have been squared up a little bit better, but we moved the runner over, and that's what's necessary here. Full count to Joe Adell. That's a fastball. We get good on it. Seems to be a fly out to the center fielder. Actually, it's going to be a 2-run home run. So he repeats what he did in Coors Field. Hits a 2-run home run in Coors Field. Of course, it was a solo shot. Welcome to the kingdom. That's going to be a shot. Crushed, to be exactly. Perfect liner. Should be an easy double. Fastball right down the pipe. Perfect ground ball. I could have gotten myself a tad underneath it. Got a home run with it, but we'll take the perfect ground ball. That's a slider. Apparently we were late on that. I felt like I was a bit late. I didn't think I was going to get swing time in late. Thought I was probably going to get just late. He threw that pitch 4 straight times. I'm just having a little bit of a tough time trying to read it. That's going to be crushed by Daniel Murphy. Welcome to the kingdom. Perfect. Oh, that's going to be off the wall, actually. I thought that was a home run without a doubt. We're going to have a 4-run lead, though. That's a slider. Good okay. We swung at ball 4, but at the same time, I'm fine with the outcome. We got ourselves 4 runs this inning, and we're most likely pinch hitting, which will allow us to save Marcus Stroman's arm in the following inning. Now, whenever someone has Alberto Mondesi, a lot of people like to bunt with him. So I always make sure I put bunt defense on, just in case they try to sneak something in there. And it's going to be an easy line drive to the second baseman. Luckily for us, he was playing in because of bunt defense, or else he might have bobbled that, and everybody knows Alberto Mondesi would have gotten there safely. We're trying to paint corners. We'll go high with basically fastballs, etc. That's a red indicator grab. Joe Adell, he's going to cut that off. It's going to be a double regardless, although. And we're in a little bit of trouble. Now, Jorge Soler is clearly his best hitter. He was good okay on that. Every single pitch he's been able to time pretty well. So I need to mix up pitches a little bit better here. So I'm going with the cutter just to try and throw his speed off a little bit. His bat timing speed off a little bit. But he had other plans clearly. Gonna make this a 2-run ball game with Luke Voit up next. That's gonna be absolutely destroyed by Kyle Schwarber. Welcome to the kingdom. Almost got it onto the 2nd floor or 3rd floor actually of that parking lot. 2-0 count. He knows he's getting a heater most likely, and he absolutely destroys it. So it's going to be a 3-run ball game. We missed our location. It was supposed to be a little bit inside, but it came right down the pipe. I'm going to give him a mound visit just to rework on his confidence. That's going to be right down the pipe again. I mean, I'm having a difficult time pitching with anybody, but that's the case with everyone as well. No one can pitch in this game, unfortunately. So now we have a full count. I'm going with the curveball on the outside corner, looking to strike him out here, but he decides not to even go after it. That's a pretty good ricochet off the wall, but he's going to have runners on first and third. Not sure who's coming up to hit, probably the pitcher. 2-2 count. I don't want to go with the slider outside because he can just sit back and drive it the other way. So I went with a slider inside. We're throwing straight home, 56 speed. I felt like he left a little bit early, but that might just be me. Ended up just being me. Took a batter out to the ball, so couldn't get that throw with Joe Adell regardless. He's trying to hit an outside pitch. He was late on that. We're going to go back to the sinker, this time inside, and we're going to get the strikeout here. We need to get ourselves some insurance runs because I'm not sure the bullpen can hold up. That's going to be crushed to center field, but it's going to be right there at the center fielder. Tried to turn on that fastball. Got a good okay. Fly out to center field. So we couldn't get the insurance runs we needed. Now we have to depend on whoever's on the mound to hopefully get us out of here. So he was late on that. I know that for sure. Gonna go with the circle change just to keep his bat speed down. But he's just timing that pitch perfectly. We're going straight to second base. Come on, Kyle. Show off that cannon. That was a pretty good throw. He just beat us there. And now with Luke up to hit, I'm a little scared, I'm not going to lie. So I'm going to go with the inside sinker. That's not inside. We are going to get the ground ball, though. I'm going to throw it to second base, tag him out. And that was clutch for us. Tyler Naquin, of course, you have to fear him a little bit. He did hit that solo shot. Going to start him off with an outside fastball. Not sure if this one is leaving. It's showing me that I can get it off the wall. And we're going to be able to make the grab at the wall with that, most likely ending our run. So I'll get a screenshot and then I'll give you guys the outro in a second. So with that, we are ending today's episode. As you all can see, we're 1 away from getting Gene Segura as our shortstop for the Ironman series. He would replace whoever we have at short right now in terms of comments. If you did end up enjoying today's content, make sure you get this video. I believe I said either 15 or 20 likes in order to get more MLB The Show content, more Ironman content. Also hit that red subscribe button if you're new. Join the loyalty family. Turn on that notification bell. Follow me on all social medias at Bhlademyst on Twitter, Instagram. You'll interact with me on more of a personal level, and there you can DM me as well. Click on the channel community tab, interact with me there. Have a blessed day and night. Stay positive, stay safe, stay blessed. Love you all. Peace out.